Welcome everybody to this session in SuperOffice Sales. My name is Alex Pelan, and I'm a technical architect in SuperOffice. Technical architect, you probably think we're moving to the cloud, so I need a technical architect. The title is one thing, and I'm working as a pre-sale. That's the glue between our sales department and the consultancy department. So moving ahead, I will probably be a solution architect more than a technical architect. As Jan explained, SuperOffice is all about find, catch, and keep customers. Right? The find part is marketing, catch, sales, and keep service. And today, or in this session, we're going to focus about the catch part. So, just to kick it off.
Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
Yeah, that's sales. Show me the money, right? But it's not about the money you already have. Because the money you already have has been registered in SuperOffice already. You have registered the sales, you have registered the activities, and the money you will always find in the ERP systems, right? So, it's about the money in the future. It's about sales opportunities and how your company will be doing in the future. That's sales in SuperOffice. Is there any salespeople in the room? Working with or in sales? One?
We're all working in sales.
Yeah, I'm selling myself right now, so yeah, working with sales.
Of course,
Yeah,
but not
partly. Yeah.
account manager.
So you will probably notice a few topics later on. The agenda for this session is a short introduction. I will speak about the challenges in sales and, of course, the functionality in SuperOffice Sales. Next, we will go through a sales case. We'll bring you from a lead to a customer or to an actual sale. And then go into details about how you configure sales. We'll just like to show you some relevant touch point in the admin interface there. Typical challenges in sales. You're working in sales. Is this kind of relevant? Yeah? I would like to say that working with sales is like working with a mini project. And as a project manager, you have control of activities that's happening in the future. You need to have control of all the documents and, of course, deadlines. And that's the same with sales. You need to have control of the activities in the future. You need to have control of the customer, where you have them. And of course, you need to take notes and document it and have quotes, signed documents, agreements, etc., etc. Can you agree? Yeah. So the best salesperson would probably be a seller with some background from project management. That's a thesis. So, yeah. The challenges is that they are reactive rather than proactive. That means, well, they react on what's thrown their way, and they're not planning into the future. I've been working as a consultant for 3 years in SuperOffice, and I see that a lot. They're not planning into the future. They just pick up the phone when a potential customers call, right? or they act on an email they got into their inbox, and then reply the email and then forget about it. They don't plan into the future. You need to bring the customer closer to the goal. No pipeline control, or lack of. You forget to follow up on proposals and quotes. I often ask the customer when I'm out there as a consultant, how many sales do you have in your pipeline now? And very few can answer that question. And then I start thinking, who are you forgetting right now? Which customers are you forgetting right now? So it all sits up in the head instead of having a system following it up. You forget to follow up on proposals. You just ship the proposals out and then just expect the customer to come back, writing, yeah, of course I'll sign your offer. You need to follow up because you can't rely on the customer coming back, right? You have a lack of overview of the activity level. I would rather say you lack planning. You're reinventing the wheel each and every time. Templates, you don't have a quote template, you don't have an agreement template, and everyone sits, each and every salesperson sits with their own quote template, which they have locally on their own machine. And it's often it doesn't look very good. You have no overview of potential sales, their value, closing dates, etc. And you haven't set a deadline for yourself when you expect the sales to be closed. Am I right? Or is SuperOffice right? Because I've seen this a lot of times when I'm out with customers. They have no control. They rely on salespeople that they remember all these things. So why not put it on a system? Because SuperOffice allows you to be proactive rather than reactive. It can help you with that. You get exact prognosis with automatic reporting. Everything you put into the system, you can show in a selection. Or you can show it in a dashboard. It keeps track of all the sales activities which you register in SuperOffice, right? And creates quotes and proposals elegantly, and whichever salesperson sends out a quote, it all looks the same, right? It's professional. And allows everyone to work according to the best practice, because we have sales guides. You can build in your own sales processes in a sales guide. Was that all? Okay. We're going to go through a sales case today, from lead to actual sale. And today we're going to be Office Furniture Incorporated. It's a company creating office solutions for companies around the globe. They have a wide spectrum of suppliers and are selling office furniture like chairs, tables, desks, lighting, and much more. Just to keep it simple for myself in this demo. Alex, me, I'm a sales seller in office furniture, and today I will be working with my prospect list. I'm provided a new lead from the website through SuperOffice Forms, which you saw a demo of yesterday, right? And the lead was processed and delegated by the sales secretary in SuperOffice. They did the qualification of the lead right before I got it, and they delegated the lead to me. Okay. And questions, of course, just shoot with questions. Don't save them for to the last, because then you probably tend to forget them. You can't see, right? So let's see here. Here. Okay. So, as a salesperson, I would start in the diary. Look at what are my activities today, and what have I forgot, and what is planned in the future. So I get a pretty good overview. As you can see here, we have the activities list right here, or it's what we call bad dårlig samvittighetsliste, bad conscience list. It's basically listing up all the things you might have forgotten, or what you didn't have the time to complete. So everything you read in that list is things you have forgotten, or things you basically didn't have time to do. All the things in black is things that you have completed today. So the first thing I would do is go through this list each morning and check out, okay, Falcons. I need to map out some customer requirements. And as Jan as well showed, you can just drag that phone call and place it into the diary right here. So now instead of forgotten it, I've planned to do something on Friday. Right? It's all about planning. That's one thing. The other thing is going through today's day. Of course, when you're planning ahead, you will have the agenda for the day prepared already. So what I go into now is just check what are my activities for the day. I don't have that much. You'll probably get some time for training this afternoon. But firstly, I'd like to check this activity. And it says check for new leads. So, as I have built a selection already with my prospects, I can just go to the company card. And Jan also showed you this, how to use the mini card, but then you can see the value of using selections. So now I see a list of my hot prospects. These have been delegated to me. So, I start working with, I select one and start working with Unibridge Systems Incorporated. I can see that there's one person added here, Barry White. I can just go through the activities, and there I see a form submission. So this is the form submission that came from your website through the forms. And you see, he left a message, "Hi, we are in the process of furnishing our offices and are in need of new office chairs for our employees. What can you offer us?" So then I have a basic idea what this guy is after, right? He needs new chairs. So what I can do then is just go to the new button and create a new sales opportunity, right? There. So the first thing you do when you register a sales opportunity is put in a title. So office chairs for the new office. And see, automatically it connects it to the correct company because it remembers, SuperOffice remembers. And I can connect it to the correct contact, which is Barry White. I really don't have a value of this sale yet because I haven't contacted him, I haven't spoken to him, so I can't set a value. But if you knew the amount of chairs you would like to purchase, then of course I could put in a value. You need to put in the owner of the sale, which is me. The sales type is very important because here you are actually selecting the sales process you would like to follow in SuperOffice. So you can have predefined sales processes. Have sale to new customer, which is probably a longer sales process than selling to existing because they know you already, right? So by selecting new customer, I get these stages. If I selected existing customer, whoops, stalled, I've gotten other sales phases. Okay. In this thing, I have a prospect, and I expect it to close sometime next month. By selecting this sales type, I've already chose that it will be set 1 month in the future. What's also important is that you set a source, or in my opinion, it's important, but most people don't use it. Set a source for this sale. Where did it come from? Is it an active sale? Is it something I found out, or did it came through the website, as this? Okay. After saving the sale, you see that you get a sales guide, and you get something that calls stakeholders. And of course you have the activity list, and you have quotes, which I'll come back to. But since this is a new sale, I would like to go into the sales guide and see what actions I should perform in this phase of the sale. I should do some research about the company probably, check their website, see how the website is designed. Probably I can find some pictures of the new offices to find chairs that match and so on. So I just create this follow-up, get an overview of the company, website, LinkedIn, check it out. Check out their financial situation maybe. Are they able to pay at all? This is immediately placed in your diary. By entering these tasks, it's immediately placed in your diary. And when I say that, okay, now I did my research, it will ask you, would you like to create a new activity, which is calling the lead? Should probably do that as well. So, and the sales guide helps you with a sort of a agenda for each activity, so you can put in your own agendas, right? So every time I enter a new phone out using the sales guide and type call to lead, it will place the agenda for me. Map out the customer's requirements, agree on first meeting, time and place. So that's what the aim of this activity is. And I'll say, well, we can just do it right now, right? 45, don't need to wait, just plug it in there. Call the lead. And then I call, and yeah, he's quite interested in the meeting, of course, because I'm quite friendly on the phone and blah, blah, blah. So I just kick off this, it's an imaginary story, right? Because this will span over several days, right? I hope you have understood that. So when I completed all the activities for this prospect phase, it will ask you, do you want to move to the next stage? Yes, of course I do. So, it asks you, would you like to create the follow-up first meeting? Yeah, we all already agreed on that we will have a first meeting. So, it asks me, customer meeting, when would you like to create it? It presented me with an agenda, and yeah, maybe sometime, if it's on Monday for me. 8 is probably a bit early, so I'll switch it up there. Like that. And in this way, SuperOffice can help you through the sales process. I won't go through all the activities planned here, but you see, it can help you, guide you through. And of course, you probably have some experienced sales people that already know the process and they know what to do, but they actually just need to plot in the activities in the calendar and attach it to the sale. And you see, I build a history in the sale. We had the phone out, we had a follow-up, we had the customer meeting, and so on. So finally, we have had the customer meeting, and we figured out that he needed some chairs. 10 chairs. And we decided on which chairs he would like to buy. So then I can go ahead and create the quote. So I go to the quote tab and click create new quote. And you see a new dialog is presented to you. The first thing you need to do is create a quote letter. You can do that by clicking the create quote documents. And then it asks me, would you like to create a quote letter, attach it to the correct contact in person, and of course the sale. So what should we name it? Proposal for new chairs in the office, like that. And then I just click create. And if everything worked out, now, oh my God, like that. Perfect. So you see, SuperOffice helps you present a quote letter. It automatically fills in the name, title, company name, etc., etc. And it also took the title I wrote in and presents it here. I can do some changes to the document, etc., etc. You see here is a template variable called quote details, and leave that be, because here it will actually fill in the products we select later on in the process of creating a quote. So to fill in the products, I will plot in here. So I can go to add products, search for a product. It's called something like chair, maybe? And 3 chairs. And they, of course, went for the exclusive office chairs, like this. So now it's picking up products from my built-in SuperOffice product list. You can build in your products in SuperOffice. Or you can get them from if you have an integration, you can get them from your ERP system. Go talk to Keyforce about that. Okay, exclusive office chair. How many units we're about to sell them? 10, I believe it was. Like this. And then I press save. They would also like to have, I can add additional chairs, of course, in this offer. You can say that they would like to have some regular chairs as well. I just search it here. 2 of the design office chair. Save. Like that. As easy as that, and when you're done with adding the products, you just go to send. Choose the layout I would like for products. You can have several layouts, with or without VAT, for example, with or without discounts, etc., etc. So, choose that one, and you can also select to create a follow-up of this quote immediately, straight from this one. And you should always have a follow-up. Like I said in the beginning, you tend to forget which offers you have sent out. So go here, select the follow-up date. November 21st is probably a bit late, so I'll follow up that on, Tuesday. Okay. What it does now, it creates the whole quote and places it in the activities list. Here. So now you see I have a proposal for new chairs in the office, and I'll just bring up that so you see how it looks like. Here. Everything is automated. You have the template for the quotes, and it's filled in the products as well. I did that yesterday, so I'm just amazed that all the variables actually worked. So it places in the exclusive shares 10, and it sums it all up. And it's ready to send to the customer or bring to the proposal meeting. Okay? Let's say Barry White, he accepts the offer. He signs it, scans it, sends it to you, and it's important to archive the signed agreement. Or the signed quotes. So I can just go here, select the type, signed proposal, the type signed proposal, and I can now just pick up the document. I have the signed agreement here on my desktop. I can just pick it up and drag and drop it straight into here. And create. So, now we see, we have the complete activity on the sales card. We have from the first phone call until the offer we sent, and we have also the signed proposal in here. What's next? What do I need to do then? Of course, I need to close the sale. So go in here, set the stage to sold, and then you see that you get some additional fields to fill out. Among those, the competitor and reasons for selling. And don't underestimate those fields, because this can be used for statistical purposes later on. So I say we were in competition with Fine Design, if I know, and we won because we can deliver better quality of chairs. And now some magic happens in the background. You see that the prospect list should be down to 2. Because in the background, I've now been using CRM scripts to update the customer from a prospect. Oh, refresh. Update the customer from a prospect to a customer. So you see, you can, was a few lines of code with the help of Sverre, but you can see you can probably build this with macros as well after a while. So now I've updated as when I place an order and mark it as sold, the category will change to customer, and this Unibridge will be removed from my prospect list. So you can continue working with other prospects. We also have the sales registered here, You can see the amount, and so on. All clear so far? The next thing I would like to show you, because I've been, when I was a consultant, I used the sales module a lot. And what I found very useful is to use the mini card, the selections there. Have a list of all the open sales, so I can follow them up right here when you are in the sales panel. You can always go back and forth and you see when you come to the sales module, you have your open sales here, as Jan showed you earlier as well. And you also have the sales secretary here. So you remember, all the sales marked in red are sales that have gone overdue. So the sales date you indicated when you would land the sale, it's gone over that date. So you should probably go in and update the sale. Questions? None? Was it
Pipeline
up?
management? Pipeline management?
Ah, good to know. I forgot that. You said in your session that I will take it, so I should probably show you. I've made a few dashboards here. One showing activity levels. You can see my activity through each week. You can see a lot of things there. And, but more relevant is probably the sales dashboard. I can see here how much I've been selling. I've been quite lazy the first month, and I started selling in July. This is the actual sales I did, and you can see your sales in numbers. And on this right side, I've decided to have my forecasts, so I can see what I sold last month, this month, and what sales I have open for next month. And as you see, I need to build a pipeline. Because I don't have one. Value of sales this month, and what I have in the pipeline now is $5,400 in the US dollars, so I should probably start working on that as well. And of course, there's a lot of predefined tiles you can use in dashboard here. And it's basically to give you yourself as a salesperson the overview of what's happening and what you need to do. Okay. Then I'll go through the admin interface and show you which lists are relevant for setting up sales. Just a few touch points. When the consultants, SuperOffice consultants, configure sales, they always start with the sales stages. Here you can see the stages and the probability of sales, and this will generate your pipeline. So here you need to define all the stages that you would need in any sales process, right? After you've done that, you go into the sales types and see for example, this is a sales process, sales to new customers. Here I can define which sales stages should apply to this sales process. And of course, you have a lot of other lists that are relevant: competitors, reason for lost and sold, reason for stalled, the sources you have. I showed you active sale, campaigns, websites, recommendation. So you actually can see, if you use the source, you can actually see how much do you generate in sales based on all the web leads that come through your website, right? Does it have any function? Does it work at all? You're doing campaigns on social media. Does it generate any actual value? So these are lists. You can also define your own product lists in SuperOffice. If you go to the quote button here, you have SuperOffice products where you can define price lists. For now I only have chairs, but we're going to sell tables and lighting, etc. So we probably could add a new list for tables as well. Adding a product is quite easy. Press add. Add in a product code, name of it, how the units is, and price, list price, and the cost price you have. Photos, descriptions, and all this information can be embedded in the quote document as well. Yeah, that's basically the touch points in admin for sales. Questions?
It's kind
Oh,
of
I
a
consultant
forbidden,
calling questions.
a forbidden thing in sales, but you can show how to give some discounts in the quote.
I can show how to. We never give discounts, so why bother? You can give a discount, of course. Let's bring up a new. I can just bring up new sale. Oops. What happened now? Discounted sale. Chair, you want to discount the chair? Here, you can add discounts per product. So if I enter 10% here, it will automatically give me the discount. Or I can enter the discount amount I would like to give them, $100 on each share, and it automatically fills out in the percentage. But we don't do that, so should probably remove it. You also have the possibility to enable discounting overall, so you can give the discount on the total amount, but then you need to enable it, and you will have a field here which you can discount. Now it won't show the actual discount in my offers because I haven't built a template for it. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, you can probably put something GDPR there, like from when it comes to becomes a customer, it's the legal purpose is something else.
It's already in, actually, because you see Barry White, he came through the website.
Yeah.
So if I go to Barry White, I can see the legal basis here. It's already given consent through a web form.
Yeah, right.
So I have the consent. SuperOffice takes care of that for us. Don't need to worry about it.
Mm.
And if you register a person manually, you can have a automatic email sent to that person, letting them know that
that's great.
you have registered them. So for this case, I had it automatically, but it might be different.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the laws, but you should probably have contact with that person before you enter him into the system. So just a phone call, may I book a meeting with you? Okay, then, yeah. Okay, more questions? No? Just a few slides I bring up in my courses when I have them with customers. You can bring them, you partners can probably steal them if you want to. Just remember that the expert in anything was once a beginner. It's always nice to know, so you need to practice to get this to work. You need to have internal routines to get it to work, etc., etc. And without data, you're just another person with an opinion. So if you don't take the time to enter all these fields, you will end up with useless data. And quality is not an act, it's a habit. So you need to, the companies need to take responsibility and really work on the quality of the data they put in and have guides for it. Help the users get on board. Yeah, thanks. That was all from me.